Hello, good evening. My name is Minzy. This is my granddad's tie. God rest his soul. And this, fuck off. Anyway, I'm here to talk about a game that occurred on Saturday evening between Chelsea and Port Vale, which of course finished 7-0. We now know who we're going to play in the semi-final. It is those dickheads, Leeds United. 1970s and all of that jazz. Obviously, I know that game was played in the final, not the semi-final, and that was after also a replay with those famous scenes of players kicking the shit out of one another, and you had Mark Clattenburg saying he would send off about 11 players in that game if it wasn't refereed under modern circumstances, but it is what it is. And you know what? I mentioned this with Carsey in his Blues Fan TV group that if we were to make an appearance in an FA Cup final, never mind win the bloody thing, make an appearance in the FA Cup final, then the best thing we could have done was avoid Manchester City and Arsenal and hope we end up getting the winners of whoever it is between West Ham Leeds. That's not to put any disrespect to them. Because let's be honest, we all thought it was going to be Manchester City, Arsenal, West Ham Leeds was always going to be a close tie. And to be fair, that was the tie of the FA Cup. What a game. What a game of football that it finished 2-0 initially to Leeds, and then West Ham with a madness to complete a 2-2 comeback, but sadly not the win, despite putting a they put their substitute goalkeeper in. He saved the first pen. But unfortunately for them, incompetence from their main penalty takers, really. And then Pascal Struijk has put Leeds into their first FA Cup semi-final since 1985, is what was mentioned. And we go off and play them. And as I said, if we did manage to get whoever the winners was of that tie, then we have a good chance, not a very good chance, a good chance of getting into the final. So technically, that was a draw we wanted. Unfortunately, we didn't understand or realise that Arsenal were capable of fucking it up so much more. So much more that they'd lost to fucking Southampton. So, of course, instead, we would have loved to have played Southampton. Not saying they would have been easy either. When I said Manchester City get to play those wankers, and we get to play Yorkshiremen Lily White instead. Fuck Leeds United, brev. It's a unique FA Cup semi-final, to be fair. You've got representatives in all four coordinates of the UK. The North-West representative in Manchester City, the North-East delegate in Leeds United, your capital punishment in Chelsea, and all the way down at the south coast, Southampton. All four quadrants of the UK are in the FA Cup semi-final. Fantastic. All the neutrals want Southampton versus Leeds United in the FA Cup final. I would watch that. You know what? I hope that's the FA Cup final, because it would be an absolute pleasure to watch Southampton versus Leeds in an FA Cup final. I'll tell you that. I'm not joking. I'd rather watch that than watch Manchester City versus Chelsea. Having said that, fuck me. If we lose to Leeds, I'll be fuming. Blood will come out of my fucking skin if we lose to fucking motherfucking Leeds United. We lose to you dickheads. Considering you've beaten us at Ellen Road, you've taken a point of us at Stamford Bridge, you're unbeaten against us. And then, on top of it, we survive the Premier League relegation drop and then beat Chelsea again to reach the FA Cup final. Oh, fam, what a fantastic season for you lot to finally avenge 1970 and put one over us. Oh, no, I'll be redder than this fucking tie. I'll be far more redder than this fucking tie. And all the other red cards that we've accumulated. I'll be so fuming if we fucking lose to those dickheads from fucking North Yorkshire. Fuck those wankers. But hey, that's me sorted for the FA Cup semis, and well, may the best team win, but fuck Leeds United. Before I talk, I just realised the game is the last thing I really want to talk about, because everything's been more what's been happening off the pitch rather than on the pitch. I mean, on the pitch is a fucking disaster. I've very much thoroughly enjoyed the 2 weeks in which I didn't have to give two flying shits about Chelsea Football Club. I was so relieved it was the international break. Heck, I was kind of enjoying the fact that my beloved root country in Bangladesh ended up winning the SAF Under-20 tournament in a penalty shootout where I saw Mr. Declan Sullivan do a penenka. Brahim Diaz. Maybe you might want to take notes on how to take an actual penenka to win a penalty shootout for your nation. But hey, it's unfortunately back to business, and there was more talks about what was happening off the pitch than on it, like I said. Enzo Fernandez being banned for 2 games. Why? Like I had to be reminded, it wasn't Liam Rossini making this. It was definitely the hierarchs, Mr. Blueco and Mr. Clear Lake, giving instructions that give him a 2-match ban. Yeah, that will teach him. That will teach him for talking absolute nonsense. What was that nonsense? That he prefers Madrid over London. You'll have to buy a house in Madrid over in London. I'm not sure you can buy houses in Madrid, but well, you're a footballer. I guess you can. Can you really blame him? Can you really? Well, he said it. We said it in the video. If he was under Roman Abramovich, you think he'd be saying that shit? He'd be out the door. He wouldn't ever play for Chelsea Football Club ever again. You won't ever hear his name ever again. He wouldn't dare speak out of line. He wouldn't dare speak out of line at all. He'd keep his mouth absolute fucking shut. And he'll be under a team that will be known for competing on trophies on all 4 fronts. So, I don't blame Enzo Fernandez for saying that. And unfortunately, we're not back in 20 years under Roman Abramovich where we'll be competing with the likes of Real Madrid, no problem. Unfortunately, that gap has come back to square one. We're shit. Real Madrid are so much better than us. I don't want to make a comparison. I'm sorry. We're at the bottom of the food chain again because it's been self-inflicted. The government came in. They intervened and got rid of our owners, and the owners had to put these 2 clowns in because they were the best of the worst scenarios. It was either them or Jim Ratcliffe, Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Twat. So you had to sell it to these 2 clowns. I don't know, you tell me. You tell me. Like, they're running a circus, they keep buying young players, they keep buying all of these nonsense and saying that you'll have to judge us 4 or 5 years into this project, a project that keeps failing. You know, they want to bring stability in, but they keep chopping and changing managers. They sacked the manager because he was talking out of line and cussing him under the sun, saying, oh, the results in December weren't good enough. The results weren't good enough in December this time fucking 2 years ago. We were asking for the sack then. You didn't listen to us. You let him do his thing, and he did his thing. And now that he did his thing and he was asking for, you know, actual stability and actual defensive reinforcement due to the injury of Levi Colwill before the start of the season, you told him to shut up and crack on with it and do as we tell you and put the team out that we want you to put out. And like I said, if you're going to ban Fernandez and, you know, teach him a lesson, why are you banning him for 2 games? What's the fucking point? Ban him for the rest of the fucking season. World Cup coming up. Fuck that. Tell him to shut up and fuck off. Banish from the team. You haven't really taught him a lesson. You know how much he's earning from you wankers. Way more than what I can fucking imagine in my small little fucking head. And you banned him for a measly 2 pathetic games. You're not teaching him anything. And like I said, there's nothing really wrong with what he said. Fair enough if he said Chelsea can suck my dick. I've had enough of this shitty football club. Let it go fuck itself. Then yeah, I can actually say that, you know what? Fuck this guy. I hope he never wears a Chelsea shirt ever again. But all he said was a little snide little comment. Just, I'd rather buy a house in Madrid. Heck, I think all of the far right wing would rather buy a house in Madrid. With all the talk of how they keep comparing Londonistan and all of this shit comments left, right and centre. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people in the UK would want to buy a house in Madrid, or a flat in Madrid, or a studio apartment in Madrid compared to London. So he's not the only one. He's not the only one. There's nothing wrong with what he said. Perhaps he shouldn't have said it whilst under a contract at Chelsea, but with the way things are going, I don't think he's the only one that feels ashamed. He's not the only one, because Mark Cucurella also said it with him and his Barcelona links. Palmer's feeling homesick and wants to go back to his boyhood club of Manchester United. And even before then, with Kai Havertz saying we're a joke of a fucking club. He kept his mouth shut under Roman Abramovich, but as soon as the circus came, he was like, fuck this, I'm going to Arsenal. You've turned us into a banter club, Clear Lake and fucking Blueco. You fucking pregnated us, Clear Blue. You fucking bellends. You've turned us into a circus. It's all your fault, but you won't fucking admit it. And you're giving up pathetic punishments of 2 match bans. You prick. Absolute bunch of pricks. And at a time in which, now that Arsenal are beating Sporting Lisbon on Tuesday, thanks to a Kai Havertz. Oh, fuck that guy, really. Fuck that guy. Thanks to Kai Havertz, last-minute winner. Now the top 5 qualify for the Champions League because of ranked coefficient, you pricks. And you want to ban him for 2 games when we got Manchester City coming up. I should have been making a double fucking match video reaction if we had any competencies at all against PSG, where we got slapped 8-2 over 2 legs. Heck, I might have been at Stamford Bridge watching Chelsea-Liverpool and watching us slap Liverpool up. Sorry. No, that's not going to happen. Sorry, Liverpool slap us 2-0. Don't get me wrong, we're both as shit as each other, but I have a feeling Chelsea will win the race on who's the most shittiest between Chelsea and Liverpool. I can guarantee you that. So let me get that nonsense out of my head. Could have been, if there was any competency, if there was any actual fucking brains behind this fucking ownership. They would have kept Maresca, would have listened to him and brought him the players he needed. And heck, we might have been playing Liverpool. It would have been a special tie. I would have taken Kyle all the way down to Stamford Bridge to watch Chelsea versus Liverpool. Don't know what to say, bro. I'm just... It sucks to be me. So a lot of stuff that is going off on it, and it's like, yeah, we don't want Liam Rosenior in charge. He's not fit and proper to be a Chelsea manager. He's not of the class and calibre for it. You know, who is he learning of? Wayne Rooney's management. Wayne Rooney's management of what? Getting Plymouth virtually relegated. They sack him and then they beat Liverpool in the FA Cup last season. The same Wayne Rooney that has done a wonderful butchhousery job under fucking Derby County and Birmingham. That's who we're getting. We're getting the understudy of Wayne Rooney. Before we had the understudy of Pep Guardiola, now we're having the understudy of Wayne Rooney. God fucking help us. And if we sack him because, you know, they made a yes man out of him for too long, that, you know what, they can throw him under the bridge if results are not going, you know, their way. So they can throw him off the fucking bridge and then get what? Gary O'Neill in from Strasbourg. That's why we're protesting against you lot. That's why Strasbourg and I, well, hopefully I'll be there for the protest, but that's why Strasbourg and Chelsea fans are linked up together. This is why this whole video is about the protest that will be coming up before the Man United game, because we're sick of it. We are sick of it. Both of us. You know, at the end of the day, Liam Rosenior should have been stuck at Strasbourg trying to navigate their way through the Conference League. Who knows, they might have won it under him. They were top of their table, looking comfortable. All right, league could have been a little bit better, but, you know, they were doing okay. And we keep stealing their youngsters. We're going to be taking one of their Argentinian youngsters. Well, let's face it, they're not going to do anything in the Premier League. We keep taking Strasbourg's promise and we put them into the Premier League where they'll get bullied and shoved and thrown all around the gaff and, You know, oh, it's another signing that failed. Well, of course, there's another signing that failed because they're not supposed to be Chelsea players. No disrespect to Strasbourg's talents. I'm sure they are talented, but they're talented in their league. I don't think they can make the step up to the Premier League. None of these lot. And we're taking their best players and we keep giving our shit to them. No wonder Strasbourg are pissed. I'd be fucking pissed. And I am pissed. I'm genuinely pissed and angry. We're annoyed. We can get talent from clubs that are more established. I've got players that are actually, you know, throwing their weight. We could have gotten Antoine Semenyo. We could have gotten Mark Gahey. We could have gotten Elise. Instead, we're getting Strasbourg talents. Strasbourg's got talent. Strasbourg's not got those talents, man. No disrespect to them. But at the end of the day, they're sick and tired of us. And we're also sick and tired of bullying them. We are two separate entities. We have both got our separate history and pride. You don't do to Strasbourg what you've done to them. You've disrespected them. And to be fair, so have I. I apologise, Strasbourg fans. I really do. I do apologise. Please forgive me. That was a little bit silly what I said just a couple of moments ago. At the end of the day, you're a club full of history, full of culture, and full of your own uniqueness. Either way, the point is that we are both separate entities and we should be kept as separate entities. You should not be supplying us your talent at all. You should be doing your own thing and we should be doing our own thing. You know, we've got no affiliation to you guys and you absolutely detest us, and I sympathise with that. We're both stuck in the same ship. This is why we've got this temporary alliance together, and we are going to go forth together, and we're going to show these wankers that you lot need to fuck off. Just fuck off out of my club. Fuck off out of my club, because we've said it before in the live stream. We said it before in the live streams and in the pre-match previews. We've had enough. We've had enough of this ownership. They've taken 20 years of stability and put it into disarray. I guarantee, even under Ken Bates, this would never have happened. And if you make us lose to the fucking Leeds in the semi-final, I guarantee you Ken Bates would have told Liam Rosenior, get the fuck out of this club. But like I said, Rosenior's a patsy in all of this. I don't want to be too harsh on him. He should not be a man that should be managing Chelsea. He was forced into it, because even if he was at Strasbourg and told Egbali to fuck off, you egg-headed bellends, they would have just sacked him at Strasbourg. It was a lose-lose situation for him. He has no win in this either. So he has my sympathies, but he shouldn't be in a job. But unfortunately, if we sack him, and Kasim mentioned this, we're just going to get the other Strasbourg manager in. That's all that's going to happen. So this is the mess that is Chelsea Football Club. But as I said, I'll talk a bit about the game. Listen, for the record, for this game, I put my salutations up to Port Vale for what they've done. You know, they're 15 points off safety in League One. You know, they're bottom of the table. They're probably going to get relegated. To do what they did, beat Sunderland in the 5th round on the way to get into the 6th round of the FA Cup for the first time in donkey years. It's only the 2nd time they've reached the 6th round. Their best ever finish was in a semi-final back in 1953 and 54. You know, and this is the first meeting between Port Vale and Chelsea for 97 years. Salutations. This was their big day. I know 7-0 was a drubbing and confidence depleted, but At the end of the day, it's their away day. They got to play away from home at Stamford Bridge. They don't get to play at grounds at Stamford Bridge or Emirates or Old Trafford. Like, this was a unique experience for them. We gave them the whole of the shed end. They were vociferous, they were raucous, as I expected them to be. They were singing and I don't know if they were dancing, but they were singing and screaming their hearts out from 0 to 90 minutes. They never once shut up. They were vocal. They were absolutely vocal. I hope we gave them the gate receipts. I hope we gave them everything, really. We don't need any funding from this game. Or maybe we do with all the losses that we keep making. But I hope we gave them the gate receipts and I hope they receive the funding they require so that if they do go down, they can hopefully bounce back up. And I wish them all the best of luck. But anywho, into the game, and the less said about it, the better, because we said it in Blues Fan TV live stream that so long as he puts out a full strong 11 out, he should be comfortable. If he puts out a team like they did against Wrexham, it's going to be uncomfortable. This was our team. Sanchez, Gusto, Fofana, Adebayo, Hato. Then you had Neto, Lavia, Palma, Santos, Estaviao, and João Pedro. It's about as strong as you can get it to be. Gave Caicedo a rest. I don't think he came on, which is grand, but where is Josh Achimpong? Surely you'd want to play Josh Achimpong. Anyway, Gauchi, Lawrence, John, Humphreys, Neil, Gordon, Garrity, Walkers, Ojo or Oho, Wayne and Sharif up front for Port Vale. Game was over within the first 90 seconds, really. They got a corner on the right. Neto swings it in. Gauchi tries to punch it the first time. It comes off Sharif. He then has this opportunity to punch it the second time. He punches it straight to João Hato from close range. He volleys it with his left foot, squirms underneath Gauchi, and it's 1-0. From there, we're saying, well, I was feeling it. I was like, this is uncomfortable. Port Vale, they kind of saw the nurse, kind of didn't. They had a few dangerous balls in which they're winning the first header, but they didn't really test Sanchez to get an equaliser, make it more uncomfortable. And then it was 2-0, and after that, the floodgates opened, really. Lavia to Santos, who lofts it on the right. Should have been comfortable for Gordon. He really should have been comfortable for him. How you made Pedro Neto look like Adama Traore, I don't know. I don't know how he shrugged you off. He passes it and cuts it back to João Pedro, who absolutely sits John on the floor and plants it to the bottom left-hand corner. 2-0, and that little celebration comes in. Or was it that way? Anyway, 2-0 it was. 2-0 became 3-0. Tosin passes it in the middle to Gusto, who puts a lovely flick in from behind with his back to goal to João Pedro. Runs forward, passes on to the right to Gusto, who shoots across the keeper. Hey, that was a good save from Gauchi. He was very unlucky. It dropped to Palmer. The shot was going wide, for fuck's sake. It was actually going wide. And it comes off Lawrence and he goes into the top left-hand corner. It says a lot when even Cole Palmer can't even score that as an open goal. He would have had 2 open goal misses, man. Anyway, into the second half. I think they switched Pedro Neto around and Esteval was now on the right and he looked much more better. Much more better. I enjoyed it, really. Hato passes it into Neto. Neto on the right. He passes it on to Gusto, who clips in a cross, and Adebayo plants it into the bottom right-hand corner to make it 4-0. Do you know what I found more outrageous in the game? Palmer was a captain, and then when he got substituted, he passes on the armband to... how dare you give Adebayo the captaincy? How dare you give an ex-Fulham man a fucking captaincy? Fulham had ex-Chelsea players that were captains, but fucking hell, I might be wrong in that. I might get slandered for that. Fine, I don't give a shit, but how dare you make Adebayo a fucking captain? The actual cheek of it. The actual shame in our club. But anyway, good header from him to make it 4-0. Then Estevao at the corner, and Adebayo, my favourite Chelsea player, decides to glart Gauchi in the face, and Santos gets his goal, makes it 5-0. I thought he'll get chalked off, but I guess VAR went a little bit soft there, mate. Should have been stronger from Gauchi's perspective. I thought it should have been chalked off, but hey, it was 5-0. I ain't going to complain. Then Hato, beautiful pass down the middle to Garnacho. He should have finished it. He comes off the post. I think it comes off, was it Lawrence again? It comes off him, and Estevao taps it in to an open net because Garnacho shot it just floors everyone. Floored about 3 players, including the goalkeeper. And sadly for Lawrence, who was already on the floor, it comes bouncing off of him. Comes to Estevao and rolls it into the bottom of the open net to make it 6. So he deserves it. He deserves it. I think he hit the post, the inside of the post just before that, and then he blazed over the bar, and he had a shot that was well saved by Gauchi before that. He deserved the goal to make it 6-0. Final move of the game. Garnacho on the left. He runs into the box, and the substitute Magloire, he takes him down. Bit of a soft pen, but it was a pen, let's be honest. And slots into the bottom right hand corner, does Garnacho. He gets fouled, he takes the pen himself, he puts it away. Good man. Wish Estevao took it instead, would have gotten his second goal and given him a bit of a confidence boost. And all the laughs will be at Liverpool, except I'm not laughing at them at all, because who am I to laugh when we are even shittier? Like I said, if we had somehow beaten PSG, I think Liverpool would have fucked us over. And now the opponents who did fuck over Liverpool, not PSG, Manchester City, we have them next in the FA Cup. We're going to hopefully do a preview on Blues Fan TV with Carsey and my old budding colleague Mohammed Abdi, Manchester City fan. So that will be nice. Listen, I hope we get beat. I'm sounding like a Tottenham fan here. But don't worry, I'm not going to be like, yay, we got defeated, yay, we put Arsenal out of the title race, hooray, for bending over backwards and taking one in, gobbing one in. No. Just beat us and get it over and done and dusted with for the greater good so that Arsenal will win the fucking Premier League title. That's all I've got to fucking say. Like I said, it's become sad, state of affairs into how we've run. Normally I'd look at that game against Manchester City under Roman Abramovich here and say, we need those 3 points to keep us in the title race. Obviously we're nowhere near the title. And if we take anything of Manchester City, then Arsenal pretty much will win the title because their title running is nothing. They've got absolutely no one. They can't fuck this up. I'm sorry, they can't. So, who benefits? Do we benefit from winning and putting our names in the mixers for top 5 when we don't deserve a UEFA Champions League? Or do we let Manchester City have one more bite at the cherry with Arsenal? I don't know. You tell me. I'm so apoplectic about my club that I don't know what to say apart from the biggest game of our season is Leeds United in the FA Cup semi, and we have to win that game. I am not losing to those bastards from Yorkshire. Fuck Leeds United. Fuck them to Jahannam. Fuck those pricks. Don't you fucking dare lose to those cunts. Please, don't fucking lose to those cunts. That's the only game I fucking care about is Leeds United in the FA Cup semi. Fuck the Premier League. Just get us into the FA Cup final. I couldn't care less about what happens. Just don't fucking lose to Leeds, fam. Please. Please, for the love of Christ, don't lose to fucking Leeds. Anyway, I'm out. Good night.